I'm Michelle.
And I'm Lucy.
Welcome to a Cameo episode. These episodes of various lengths about people we may or may not have mentioned before will be slotted in between other episodes and may or may not fill in the gaps and enhance our understanding of the age.
I think they all enhance our understanding of the age.
So far, yes.
In some way or other.
Yes. Sometimes it's just incredulity, but yes.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's a bit oblique, but
yeah,
it's all part of the age.
Yes. Yes, yes.
And today, Lorenzo's Giraffe.
Lorenzo de Medici?
Yes. Now, I'm a bit annoyed about this. I have to say I'm quite cross.
Okay.
I wrote this episode a few weeks ago now.
Okay.
And I was happily listening to the Rest is History podcast.
Oh, no.
And they were talking about the Medici. And they said, next episode is the Medici Giraffe. And I thought, no, I'm doing that. But anyway.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's okay. Maybe our friends don't listen to it. Yeah. Now you've put in that caveat. Everybody knows we're not copying. We were first.
Yes. I don't know whether theirs has come out yet or not. I haven't checked. I didn't want to be skewed by it. But yeah, when I heard that, I thought, oh.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
That's mine.
Now you need to do the Medici mouse or something. Giraffes are such a unique thing. Because
they are.
If you think about it, everybody says their neck came from evolution. This is probably ADHD talking, actually. But why is there not another giraffe? Like wolves, dogs, coyotes.
Nobody else has got a neck even remotely as long.
No, nor do they travel the same way. Giraffes have a very unique stride type. Like okapis kind of have a longer neck. I love okapis. They're beautiful. Do you know what I'm talking about with an okapi?
But nothing
like a giraffe.
They're completely out on their own.
Yeah, so how did they end up with that body shape? Like, even if you go with something else that's really unique, we think, with a long neck, is an ostrich. But then you also have emus. So where's the giraffe's relative?
And if it's all just reaching up to get high leaves...
Yeah.
Well, lots of creatures would want to do that, surely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. My random thought for the day.
It's uniqueness that was so attractive, I think. Lorenzo de Medici was a merchant and a banker who wanted to be a prince. It sounds like a fairy tale.
Yes, it does.
But he wasn't.
He's an evil prince, though.
He'd spent some time in foreign courts. He knew what a prince looked like.
Wait, you said he spent time at foreign courts? Which court?
Naples he went to.
Oh. See, I don't think of that as a foreign court. Sorry, I was thinking... I'm thinking outside of Italy. Right.
Oh, no.
Different city.
And Rome, I think.
Did he go to France? Was it France that he went to? No.
No, Italy's not one thing. As a boy, he'd seen the entry of Galeazzo Maria Sforza into Florence, when Galeazzo had pulled out all the stops to impress and had brought a ludicrous number of carts full of bling, even though it was Lent and the people of Florence were thoroughly shocked. Anyway, see Caterina Sforza's episode on Patreon for that.
That's not allowed during Lent. You're meant to be giving up things.
Yeah, and they're a sober lot in Florence. I mean, they might have their crazy moments, as we know, but on the whole, they're not like that.
No.
And also, Lorenzo knew if the Medici tried anything like that, they'd be accused of hubris and getting above their station.
Yes.
Because his grandfather, Cosimo, had been accused of treason and getting above his station.
We have an example.
Cosimo had tried to wow the Florentines by organising animal combat extravaganzas, just like the golden age of ancient Rome.
No, don't do that.
So before an expectant crowd, my dad always used to say expectorant crowd. Before an expectant crowd, a wild boar, 2 horses, 4 bulls, 2 young buffalo, some goats, a cow and a calf were brought into the Piazza della Signoria. And the spectators must have thought, is that it?
It's a
seen
farm?
those animals before. Yes. Yes. Yeah, I'm a goat herd. I live with goats. Why are you showing me goats? They're not exotic. But then 24 lions were released.
Oh, no.
And the audience was poised, waiting to see what would happen next. I mean, this is more like it. This is what we've come to see.
Oh, my goodness.
The poor prey animals were trembling and cowering and desperately trying to find ways of getting out of the square, but there was no escape, and they had nothing to look forward to but death. And the calf hid behind its mother, bleating pitifully. And then the lions yawned, stretched, and fell asleep.
Oh, thank goodness.
The show had been put on to impress Pope Pius, who was visiting, and the Pope complained that more wine was spilled in his honour than blood. Ruined my holiday.
Are you kidding me?
Just 1 star on TripAdvisor. No, fed up.
I dislike everybody.
But these lions, they were from the Florentine menagerie. And that was the problem. They were well fed. They could
yes.
chase things around the square.
Yeah.
Why would they bother? They were going to get supper when they got home. But an interesting glimpse into Florentine life, the lion keeper had to wear a long beard and sideburns.
What?
Had to. And he could sit with the nobles at the Council of the Republic, because he was held in such high regard.
Oh.
The lion keeper, yeah. And there's still a street in Florence called the Via dei Leoni. And lions were so much a part of how Florence saw itself that instead of making snowmen, Florentines made snow lions.
Wow.
So when Cosimo released the lions, people obviously thought, oh, it's the lions again.
Yeah. And then they didn't do anything.
No. Well, Lorenzo had been a boy when his grandfather put on his abortive animal combat show, and he'd probably been cringing with embarrassment. It's a bit like I was just watching Trump's rally today that no one turned up to. And he was cringing with embarrassment. You didn't think he could do that, but he can. You couldn't see with his blushing, obviously. Well, it's not my idea of fun, going out on a Sunday afternoon to watch tanks trundling through the city.
No, that sounds very...
Soviet.
Soviet, yes. I didn't want to say it, but yes, very Soviet.
Lorenzo realised that lions were not enough. Everyone was bored of lions. They were 2 a penny. He needed something more if he was going to look like a proper prince.
And he chose a giraffe? Why not a tiger? Or a snow leopard?
It's a bit too much like a lion, I should
but
think.
they're pretty.
They are pretty.
And I can't see a giraffe attacking everything else.
No, there was a reason for the giraffe. Lorenzo's early years in charge didn't go as well as he might have hoped. Because as we heard, when the town of Volterra rebelled, all about the alum trade, he sent in the troops who raped and pillaged and completely decimated the place. And it was generally felt that this was going a little too far.
Yeah.
And it tarnished his reputation.
A little.
Then he fell out with Pope Sixtus over the purchase of a molar. And then there was the Pazzi conspiracy, where the Pazzi family and others who were dissatisfied with the Medici tried to kill Lorenzo.
Yes.
And did kill his brother. And this led to a huge, lengthy, far-reaching and bloody repercussions, including war with Naples, the opprobrium of the Pope, the loss of many Florentine subject cities, and hyperinflation. And that was when Lorenzo decided his best bet was to go to Naples and, on his own, and read poetry to King Ferrante, which bizarrely worked.
Yes. The most random thing possible.
But it was helped along by all the gifts he took as well, I think. When he got back to Florence, Lorenzo was treated like a hero. He was welcomed in a style more befitting to a monarch than a mere banker. And he said, quote, "There was no man in Florence, whatever his condition, who did not come to touch my hand and kiss me," unquote. When Pope Sixtus died and Innocent VIII took over, Lorenzo saw his chance for preferment. And they negotiated agreement whereby Lorenzo's son, Giovanni, would be made cardinal, in return for Lorenzo's young daughter marrying the fat, drunk, and considerably older illegitimate son of the Pope.
Oh my gosh.
So a match made in heaven, as far as Lorenzo's prestige was concerned.
There are so many things that make you not want to be a woman in this time.
I don't want to be anybody in this time.
No. No.
Particularly a woman.
Yes.
Or a child.
Yes.
But, no. Don't want to live there.
Oh, the poor women. Poor children. Poor animals.
But Lorenzo still needed more. He wanted something that would take him completely out of the humdrum world of your average leader and set him apart completely. So he looked to his hero, Julius Caesar, for inspiration.
Don't. Julius Caesar got stabbed to death. That's not a good role model.
Well, that is partly why he was attracted to him, because who else was nearly stabbed to death?
Oh.
Lorenzo.
Yeah, but Lorenzo survived.
He did.
Julius
Yeah,
Caesar did not.
He didn't, but then I suppose Lorenzo could think, well, I must be better than him.
Oh. Okay, yeah, I can see that.
didn't die.
I am magnificent.
Loser. Well, after Caesar had defeated Pompey, he came back in triumph and brought a menagerie with him.
Right.
Lions, leopards, parrots, baboons, Saluki dogs, flamingos, and most amazing of all, a giraffe, which he'd picked up in Egypt when
Why
he
is
was
that most amazing
dallying
of all?
with Cleopatra. Well, they are.
Well, they
They
are.
just
Yes,
are.
they are. They are.
And this was the first giraffe ever brought to Europe. And just to show that Julius Caesar felt that he was the sort of man who had giraffes literally coming out of his ears, he allowed this one to be torn to pieces by
Oh,
lions.
for bleep's sake.
I wouldn't want to watch anything being eaten by a lion, but a giraffe being attacked by a lion, no.
Breathing.
Awful.
Breathing. I just want to... This is not okay.
No, it's not. But then Caesar boasted that he had killed 1 million people in his Gallic wars. But Lorenzo thought if Caesar could do it, bring
Why
the
not?
giraffe into Europe, not rip it to pieces, why couldn't he? If he can stop a war with poetry, he could procure himself a giraffe.
Okay.
And as I say, he wasn't unlike Caesar in many respects, as he saw it. He was a prince-like leader in a republican country. And he was nearly assassinated. And we know that Lorenzo knew about Caesar's giraffe because he not only had Pliny's natural histories, but also Dio Cassio's Roman history, both of which describe Caesar's triumphal entry. And obviously Lorenzo wasn't basing his entire political success on this one animal, but it wasn't going to hurt to be the one who was to introduce a giraffe to Florence.
Okay.
Other people may have lions, but he was going one step beyond.
The other thing is they don't actually know how to take care of these animals. Weren't we talking about elephants that they were feeding wine to?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't think elephants need wine.
No, they don't need wine.
Well, Florentines had seen drawings of giraffes, and Cosimo de' Medici had made a wooden giraffe. But Lorenzo would have a live one.
Okay.
But how? It was all right for Caesar, because ancient Rome had territories in Africa. Renaissance Florence did not. The import of exotic animals into Europe came through the Ottoman and Mamluk Turks. And in a way, it was lucky for Lorenzo that Florence was going through such a financial slump, since it jump-started the Florentine Council into improving trade with the Turks.
Oh.
And anything that jump-starts the Florentine Council has to be a good thing.
Yes. Because it'll change as soon as they change members.
Yes. They made a treaty in 1420, but that had never come to much. Now they really needed to give it another go. They needed as much trade as they could possibly manage. And they wanted to do it without going through the Venetians, since most Italians saw them as not proper Christians. They're sort of halfway house, they felt, between the Christendom and the infidel. The Florentine ambassador was sent to Cairo to talk to... I'm going to call him Qaitbay. Qaitbay. I couldn't find a pronunciation guide for it. He's the Mamluk Egyptian Sultan. And the sultans were elected from non-Muslim slaves who made up the palace guard, which is extraordinary, I think.
Okay, wait. He was a slave that was elected to a
Yes.
sultan? Interesting.
We talked about this in Katerina Cornaro's
Yes, I
episode as
remember,
well.
but I think I misunderstood at the time.
The fact they're slaves and they're non-Muslims.
And they're the ones that are the sultan. Interesting. Okay.
Well, I think the idea is they come from outside the area. They won't have a faction. It's not like having, when you've got Bajazet and...
I get it. I'm still
Djem.
flabbergasted about the
It is
fact...
extraordinary.
Yeah, especially with how xenophobic everybody is at this time.
And I suppose it gets out of the primogeniture thing, and you don't have to kill your brothers.
Yeah?
He's said to have come from a family of shepherds and been bought for 5 ducats. He served under 9 sultans and yet managed to avoid arrest, imprisonment or exile, which apparently was pretty much miraculous for that time.
Oh, gosh.
He was a very successful sultan. He built mosques, libraries, colleges and hospitals. But it was not all fun and games. The country was short of money, partly because Cake Bey was conducting a war against the Ottomans and also because he was spending so much money on mosques, libraries, colleges and hospitals.
But it's improvements.
Also, they were constantly being hit by plague, hence the hospitals, presumably.
Goodness.
The Florentine ambassador had to approach the Sultan kneeling and kissing the floor. But once the Sultan allowed him to stand, he showed him all around his palace, including his menagerie.
Oh,
And there,
there's
in
a giraffe.
all its glory, the ambassador spotted what he knew Lorenzo wanted. Because before he went, I think Lorenzo must have drawn the ambassador aside and whispered to him, while you're there... And we know that Lorenzo told the ambassador to keep him informed about the trip, but not to tell the council he was keeping Lorenzo informed. This is our little secret.
Ah, that we know of now. Everybody knew
We
then.
know. There are no little secrets. This creature is known in Cairo as a Giraffe.
Oh.
And Lorenzo was very lucky that although he wanted something the Sultan had, the Sultan wanted something that Lorenzo had. Because although Cake Bey was to pull Egypt out of the financial doldrums later in his career, this was near the beginning, in the 1480s, so he was still wrestling with that problem. And he was new to trading with Europeans, but a trading agreement with Florence was quite an alluring prospect.
Mm-hmm.
And there was something that Cake Bey wanted even more.
Alum?
No, surprisingly not. If it's not alum, it's got to be Giles Lord Doggy. Those are the answers to questions. He was being pestered by Sultan Bajazet. And for the time being, Bajazet had too many problems at home for a full-scale invasion. But it was just a matter of time. And Cake Bey had a proposition for Lorenzo. Could he please get Prince Djem for him and send him to Egypt?
I was about to ask, is it Prince Djem?
It's him, yes. That way, if Bajazet tried anything, Cake Bey would just plonk Djem at the front of an army and say, there you go get him.
Yeah.
Djem was still in French hands at this point, and Lorenzo had quite cordial relations with the French, so shouldn't be a problem. As a second option, Cake Bey was willing to accept Pope Innocent taking hold of Djem, and then he could plonk him at the head of an army.
Mm-hmm.
Since Lorenzo's poor daughter was married to the Pope's dissolute son, he was ideally placed to negotiate on Cake Bey's behalf. So things were hotting up for Cake Bey since Bajazet had just made peace with Hungary, Venice and the Danube. So he had a clear window for moving in on Egypt. And Cake Bey had exacerbated the situation by stealing a present that an ambassador from India was sending to Bajazet. It was a stupid move on Cake Bey's part, and he must have realised it since he pretty quickly sent a message to France offering 100,000 ducats for Prince Djem. Quick, send him here now. I need him for damage limitation. He also wrote to Lorenzo to say, can you clear the way for this, please? And Lorenzo said he'd be delighted to help, and in return, could he please have a giraffe? So talk about all things being linked. Lorenzo's giraffe is dependent on the release of Prince Djem. It's when I was reading that and Prince Djem popped up, I thought, oh, wow.
Again, everything's linked.
Lorenzo was within a gnat's crotchet of cementing the deal when things started to go wrong for Cake Bey. 1486 was a bad year for Egypt. Bad harvests led to rocketing prices. There were military hostilities between the Mamluks and the Ottomans over Cilicia. And Cake Bey had a nasty fall from a horse.
Ooh, that's
the horse
never good.
reared. Cake Bey fell off and the horse fell on top of him.
Ooh.
And his femur was broken with the bone jutting through the skin.
And he survives this.
Well, they thought he'd die from loss of blood, but he didn't. But it took him several months to recover.
Yeah.
Well, recover enough to be able to join in official ceremonies, but he was still in excruciating pain.
Gosh. Well, did they know how to set it? They had better medicine, didn't they, than Europe?
Yeah, I think bone setting was quite an early one as well, wasn't it?
After it's come through the skin?
Yeah.
Ugh. No anesthetic, people.
No.
That just makes it worse.
But the financial downturn and the uncertainty when he was incapacitated made him even more keen to strike a deal with Lorenzo. Unfortunately, we don't have documentation concerning the negotiations for the Giraffe, but on the 11th of November 1487, a giraffe duly turned up in Florence.
Oh!
And it was paraded through the streets with other exotic animals, and everyone was amazed
What is this
that
thing?
and the giraffe was a she took food from the hands of children.
Oh.
And this had been an easy present for Kate Bay to give.
Yeah,
It
I
made
already
them
had it.
Exotic for Florentines. And Lorenzo saw it as a way of cementing his power, as to show how very princey he was. But when Kate Bay stole the present from Bajazet, he only took the gems and textiles. He sent the rest of the presents, the animals, including giraffes, onto Bajazet. No, take them. Don't need them. Not worth keeping. So when Lorenzo said, all I want is a giraffe, Kate Bay must have been delighted. It was as if Kate Bay had said to him, send us a sheep or something.
Yes.
Oh, great. Got fields and fields of sheep.
I just got a whole bunch more. Funny.
A trade agreement was signed between Egypt and Florence, which also enhanced Lorenzo's prestige and was good for both parties since they were both suffering from financial turmoil and problems at home. A letter was sent to Sultan Bajazet just to make sure he knew what was going on and that part of the deal had been his brother, so we strongly advise you don't try anything either in Europe or Egypt.
But he didn't get his brother. He never gets Djem. No.
No, it was option 2, the Pope gets Djem. And promises to wheel him out should he be needed. Poor Djem. Lorenzo made sure the giraffe was well cared for, and her stables were heated in the winter, and she was well fed.
Oh.
He had written to Anne of Brittany, then Queen of France, to say, if you give us aid, I've got a very special present for you.
I can give you a giraffe.
So this poor giraffe is being used as a bargaining chip all across the land. But that's the sort of thing princes did. They sent each other exotic animals,
Yes,
so
they
it did
did.
no harm for Lorenzo's "Look at me, I'm a prince" campaign. Before he would send it to Anne, Lorenzo wanted to squeeze all the political benefit from this poor giraffe. News of his acquisition travelled through Italy and beyond, and it was such a success that some have suspected he was really regretting having promised the giraffe to Anne, since it was doing so well improving his own political standing. Anyway, Lorenzo had got his giraffe. It was time for Kate Bay to get what he wanted. So Lorenzo sent an ambassador to the Pope to say could he authorise the sale of weapons to Kate Bay, since he wanted to fight Bajazet, who, let's face it, is everyone's enemy.
Yes.
And the Pope said, certainly not. I'm not an arms dealer. I'm a Pope. But somehow Innocent was prevailed upon to change his mind completely.
Was he given the giraffe?
He wasn't given the giraffe, but he was a notoriously impecunious Pope. So I think money might have changed hands. Yeah. And this is why Djem was brought from France and put into the custody of the Pope. Lorenzo had asked Innocent on behalf of Kate Bay. And in 1489, Giovanni de' Medici was made a cardigan.
Cardigan.
One day I'll get it right.
Anything
He's
starting
made a
with car.
cardinal. Yes.
A cardinal in a cardigan.
Cardinal, despite only being 13. So everything's going swimmingly. The Pope is completely in Lorenzo's hands, and this gave Lorenzo even more kudos in Florence. So the giraffe was really paying dividends. But sadly, at the beginning of 1488, the giraffe suffered an accident. She got her head caught in the beams in the roof of her stable, and she panicked and twisted her body to free herself and broke her neck.
Why did you put her in something that wasn't tall enough?
I don't know.
I mean, she's obviously an incredibly valuable commodity.
Oh, desperately, yeah. But the Florentines were desperately sad at the loss of their giraffe. They'd really taken her to their hearts. And she'd taken food from children's hands and her beautiful long eyelashes.
Yes.
They really missed her.
And really soft lips. I've pet
Yes.
them. They're lovely.
Anne of Brittany wrote to Lorenzo, reminding him of his promise to her and telling him how she'd heard so much about the animal she couldn't wait to see her. and there must have been complete panic in Florence. Oh my God, she's asking for the giraffe.
And she's lost.
Oh, what are we going to tell her?
Well, just
Lorenzo sent her some perfume instead.
which is still an incredibly expensive gift. That's not.
It is, but it does sound like a very cheap opt-out.
Maybe
really,
now.
doesn't it?
Maybe now it
Yes.
does.
Oh, send her a box of chocolates.
Yes.
Well, that would
That
be,
would be amazing.
something, wouldn't it?
Chocolate wasn't here yet. Ooh.
So that's the story of how Lorenzo's giraffe was so interlinked with so much of what else was going on at the time.
Poor girl. The other thing is they're herd animals. You can't take a single giraffe. They have to be with a bunch of other giraffes.
That's why I hate to see one single horse in a field.
Me too. It's heartbreaking. It's really
You think
heartbreaking when...
You love that horse, apparently.
Yes.
I mean, presumably you do, because you've got it.
Yes.
Don't torture the horse.
No. Because that is...
Anyway,
torture.
this is getting quite a sad
Yes.
episode. They loved her anyway.
Yes.
They loved their giraffe.
Yes.
So that's something.
And she
I
was well
suppose.
taken care of. If everybody was feeding her.
So that's the story of Lorenzo and his giraffe.
I don't know what to say.
No. Goodbye.
Bye.